Welcome back to the channel. All right, it is time for the ability breakdowns of Kitty, Pryde, and Nimrod. I'm going to do my best to go over these quickly and more, just point out what I think is interesting, relevant, and either I am excited or I am fearful of from both of these champions. We will spend more time on Kitty because honestly, I am more excited about her as offensive use. And I'll spend a little bit of time here at the end with Nimrod, with kind of my opinion on a few things about him. So let's dive directly into this. I'm going to do my best not to read these things for you. If you want, obviously you can pause them and read them, and you will see that I have highlighted what I think is most relevant and or exciting or interesting. Here we have her mechanics. They're really just talking about how important her phasing is. I think any of us who remember her or know her are not surprised by that. So she is immune to incinerate, which is great. Her prowess system is important. It's an important part of her kit and building those up. One of the things I really want to make sure I point out to you though is that each prowess is only increasing special attack damage by 5%. That is not that much, especially when you consider that there is a cap of 20, right? That's a cap of 20. So a lot of that will depend on how big would this be without those prowesses. But then once you add them on, remember, it's only 5%. There is a way to increase that though, and we will get to it. If Kitty is infected with cowardice, all prowess or loss. So there are ways to completely, for the best we can tell, neutralize this opponent, this attacker, or this defender. And then while the opponent is suffering from incinerate, prowess potency begins to increase by up to 400%. I think a lot of this is something we're going to need to actually play her, see her in the game to figure out, because does this mean if the opponent is incinerator immune, you're just not wanting to bring her at all? Is this similar to a champion who does bleed damage, and if they can't do the bleed, you just don't want to bring them? Or is she still going to be good anyway? Is she still going to be good anyway? Because obviously we're seeing here, landing this incinerate is going to increase the potency of the prowess by up to 400%. And as we established there in the beginning, the prowesses are not massive to begin with. However, increasing them by up to 400%, that could get them to be quite massive. So I think a lot of this is going to be her baseline against incinerate immune opponents, and then her baseline there without this large increase. So we'll have to kind of just figure those things out and play her as we go. That being said, I kind of like this idea already. I like this a lot. I like this phasing, and then there being some limitations to that damage. It's not just, we all love Ghost. She's amazing. I just personally don't use her a lot because I think this sounds like a very interactive thing. I'm very curious about this. All right, her phasing, it is different. I'm bringing up Ghost because it's gonna be a natural comparison. Here you go. Here's more where she is different. Kitty phasing, dashing forward with 3 or more prowess. So you need to have the prowess even up to begin with. With 3 or more prowess, triggers phasing for the duration of the dash, plus 1.2 seconds after, giving the opponent a 100% chance to miss. So they are going to miss completely through the phasing. This is different than Hood's, where Hood decreases by a percentile for each miss. This is just a 100% chance to miss. This is also different because she is phasing forward, and she has a, and they actually talk about this in the developer's notes, but you're using this prowess as like a currency. It's very cool. I think it's very cool. I think it's gonna be some smart interactive gameplay. Just hopefully the reward is big. While phasing, she also gains this large critical rating increase, and she becomes stun immune and takes 80% reduced damage. That's a little bit of a little misleading, because once we get to the SIG ability, you'll see that can get increased, but even without her awakened, taking reduced damage is great. Think about all the thorn type mechanics and things like that. And then of course, stun immune. Who wouldn't want to be stunned? You go in late and you get parried in war, or encroaching stun, things like that. So there, I think, is some kind of hidden utility there that's not obvious just initially on reading that, or just based on the statement. You have to have some game knowledge and kind of think that through a little bit there. And then of course, this reduced damage is a really big deal. It's a really big deal, especially when we look at the SIG, and we'll get to that in just a minute. This is an interesting one with the phase against the hashtag robots. But then the next thing I wanted to point out was his personal debuffs and buffs that are triggered while phase become passive and gain 20% duration. So personal debuffs and buffs that are triggered while phase become passive and gain 20% duration. I like this. This gives her the ability to place active and passive debuffs. This also allows her potentially to have some help against champions who are shrugging and things like that. So I like that. I think that's some extra utility there. And then obviously gaining that duration can be very, very helpful. The developers note, while playing Kitty, you'll want to stay phased as much as possible. For this reason, one great way to play her is to parry, dash back, and then dash forward. So you're going to be doing quite a bit of dashing. At least that's what it sounds like, and I think that's what the developers even kind of encouraging here. This will allow her to phase for most of every combo and maintain her phasing bonus as long as possible. If you're feeling skilled, you can also intercept the opponent. So if I'm understanding this mechanic correct too, right, with this reduced damage taking, you are phasing, it is triggered, and I think this possibly or probably or should make intercepting more safe too, right? Because even if it's a failed one, you're not going to be taking the damage. At least that's the way this appears to me. All right, so let's go ahead and keep moving through. And the special one, the one thing this inflicts incinerate debuffs, because I think you're wondering like, well, how am I getting these incinerate debuffs, right? Okay, so the final 3 hits of the attack each inflict an incinerate debuff, so that's really good. They're not very long. If you notice, they're only 3.5 seconds. However, they expire one at a time. I think this was Howard the Duck that first kind of introduced this mechanic to us. So one at a time, which will obviously extend the duration there. And then as we get to the SB3, you'll see another tactic. The special 2 with 10 plus prowess, which seems like it probably will not be that hard to build up the way the phasing works and getting the prowess from the mist there. But with 10 prowess, you get an unblockable buff lasting 9 seconds. Obviously, this seems familiar to us off of the special 2. That will be really nice, right? And it lasts for 9 seconds. That's a long time. It's a long time. And we're seeing there, even saying the special 2 is best used when Kitty's prowess potency is ramped up via the incinerate. Remember, that is how you're increasing the potency of those prowesses. Not only will her prowess hit much harder, but each hit will have an additional burst of damage based on this hit damage. So this seems like a significant source of damage. I do think that is the intention here. And then special 3, I've referenced this a few times now. So it's inflicting the non-stack incinerate over 30 seconds. So, and then we'll read the developer's note to see why that seems so important, why I'm emphasizing that. All right, here we go. So the developer's note, the special 3 is best used in 2 scenarios. Firstly, it can be used if you want to get a prowess potency bonus up to nearly max. You can see how that would work out with that really long incinerate, the 30 seconds there. Secondly, it can be used before throwing a special 1 to cause a special 1 incinerate to be paused for the whole 30 seconds that this incinerate lasts, allowing Kitty to stack up a ton of incinerate. So you can see why you might be incentivized to go to this special 3 first. You're going to get that really long incinerate that's going to increase the potency of the prowesses. And then if you are throwing your SP1, remember they have that 3.5 second duration, and they're expiring one at a time. So that's why I think this 30-second long duration, then you get those on, will take a long time for those to start expiring, and you're having this incinerates going for a while. So there can be a real nice bonus from that. And then we've referenced the signature ability quite a few times. While phased, take no damage from any source. There it is. That's what I was talking about. So you're phased, you're hitting into cord, you're hitting into thorns type things. I imagining this will also work very well with the suicide masteries, right? The recoil tree. So they'll still be on you. This is not removing the bleed or the poison, but you're not going to be taking damage from them. So I would imagine you're even healing up from them is the way, because willpower will still be on you. It doesn't remove willpower. While phased, you're going to gain 250% defensive combat power rate and pause phasing while being struck. Okay, so I think this is also a really nice big deal, because think of True Strike. This is something that is now in the game. It is clearly there. I don't think it was simply to neuter or work against Quake. I think that may have been a part of it. It was a really nice benefit of it. But I think this was just something new that was added into the game, a new challenge, something for us to get used to, and a way to elongate the game. It's a new challenge, right? That's how this is often done. That's how this works. And as if you've seen Panda Man Pete, and I know there's others now who have done it, it is not preventing people from using Ghost to absolutely destroy some bosses. So there are often ways to play around it. And now here we actually have a champion coming into the game that can help solve a problem. And I'm going to take a moment. No, let's get through Kitty Pryde here, the full thing. And then if you want to stick around and listen to that, we will. And I'll just include the Nimrod portion with it, because I think they kind of meld together a little bit. And then the first time each personal incinerate effect expires naturally or is purified, it has a 40% chance to re-trigger itself. at 30% potency. I think this sounds like a really big deal because it sounds like you're really using those to increase the prowess potency. So the longer those are on, the better off you are. And then, of course, I think this will probably help her against champions who are maybe shrugging or things like that. I can't think off the top of my head the champions that have this sort of ability, but this reapply, I believe it was like even Squirrel Girl has something like this. And I think Spider-Man 99 has something like this. And I found that the signature ability, the higher you could get this chance to reapply, the better it is. And so I like this. To me, this sounds like a signature ability that is going to be very nice to have, in some cases, extremely important. And then the more sig levels you add, the better it gets. You don't necessarily have to have them at this level, but no signature levels will feel wasted. We'll have to see how it scales and how it actually climbs, but that's how it's sounding to me. So I really like this. You don't have to have it. If you want to use certain portions of it, you do. And then the more you add on to it, just the stronger it gets, right? So you don't feel like it's a waste. Developers note, Kitty's ability to ignore all damage while phased is insane. Okay, so they're saying this. Additionally, her ability to re-trigger Incinerate allows her to ramp up her prowess potency much quicker. All right, so basically they said what I was saying. That's why I did not highlight it to begin with. Let's go over her synergies really quick. You can see the ones that are there. I'm going to just only talk about the ones that are highlighted, so go ahead and pause it if you're interested in that. Just to phase with Ghost. Ghost is obviously a natural fit with her as far as like the phasing mechanic. They do different things. I could see you running both of them with the recoil tree. So this just seems like a really awesome champion, not only to bring along because you'll want to be questing with them, but they actually work well and they run similar masteries, right? So Kitty Pryde, each miss that occurs during phase is going to grant 2 additional prowess. That's a big deal. That'll be really helpful. We can see why you want those prowesses. And it can stack above the normal limit. So that's a way to get over that 20, which you want to do before you throw your special. So you can see how that would help. And Ghost, entering the phase during the opponent's special attack, grants a fury buff. Good. Ghost needed a damage increase. This might really be the buff that she deserves. Kind of like Mysterio getting that one from Penny. Like, just really going to open up her playstyle. I'm kidding. Hopefully you understood that. All right, Vicious Kitty with Tigra. You're already bringing Tigra is great. And we're seeing summoners like Buddy Lee use her with the recoil tree, suicide tree all the time. So maybe this can work out. But prowesses are active. While 10 plus powers are active, become passively unblockable while phased. Hey, that sounds pretty darn good, right? Who would not want that? Continue to help out with throwing specials, I would assume, and then also intercepting as well. And then Tiger, neutralized effects last 35% longer. To me, that sounds like a wonderful thing. I do not have my Tiger at R3 yet. I might be bringing her up, especially if I can get myself Kitty and then take advantage of this Vicious Kitty. And then Fire and Dragons. I love playing Dragon Man. I'm a big Dragon Man fan. If you go back far enough into my playlist, you'll see I got him early. I took him to rank 3 early, and I continued to say, this guy is awesome, and he solves problems. He can solve some problems. So Kitty Pryde, increase the duration of Incinerate debuffs by 10% and passive Incinerate by 50%. You can see, wow, that's important, right? That seems like, especially if you're wanting that top end damage with her, you're gonna want your prowess potency as high as it possibly can. And then Dragon Man. If no power charges are active when the final hit of the special attack 2 strikes the opponent, inflict 3. This is kind of a big deal. The way I am seeing this working out, and I want to play with it when I can, as soon as I can, but the way I'm seeing this work out is this could allow you to get those incinerates on the defender and then, what's the term, ignite them? No, whatever. Blow them up, let's call it, by landing that heavy. And this will allow you to get to that even quicker, or get to it when you otherwise would have to go to another SP3. So I'm really pumped up about that. And he's a champion, again, that you're very contented running the recoil tree masteries with. So that's why I've highlighted these. I think they're effective. They sound like they probably will be extremely helpful to Kitty. They are with excellent champions, and these champions, either you're wanting to run recoil with them, or that we've seen they can work with it. This is a really nice situation. Now I'm going to speak very briefly about her ability to counter True Focus. I know that there is some upset feelings about this whole countering the counter in the game, and we're gonna lump Nimrod into this. Because he has this, you can't be armor broken, and it's just increased potency. And so it feels like a counter to a counter. And I get that, and I understand why it bothers people. I'm not telling you are wrong. I'm just gonna quickly explain why I actually like it. I like it because it's happening slowly. if they added this feature, right? If they buffed 10 champions this month and all of them had true focus counters, or if they added and buffed 10 tech champions this month and all of them could not be armor broken, then I'd be like, okay, that's too much too soon. But this is just one champion. This is just 2 champions. And even if they only put out 1 champion like that a month for the next year, that would only be 12 champions out of, I think, about 240, if my math is correct. This game is huge. It is complex. We are well past the point of having 1 champion be the answer for all the fights, all the defenders, all the nodes. We are well past that. We passed that a long time ago. I just don't think we fully accepted it. And so these are new challenges. I'm not going to build a straw man argument because, again, my point isn't to say that those people are wrong. I'm saying that I like this. I like it because it allows for further desire to accumulate or grow more champions, to grow my roster, to have more answers and rank up a diversity of champions, as opposed to just ranking up new cosmic champions that have bigger furies and bigger armor breaks. There was something, and this is something this is a little bit of I guess, advice to everyone. When you look at when new champions come out and they have an ability like this ability to counter true strike or true focus or whatever the heck it is, take that and look at it. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to be good, and it definitely doesn't guarantee that they're going to be even more powerful 10 months from now than they are now. But it's a sign that they might be. And be curious. Why is that there? One of the things that was most interesting to me about Hercules was that he did not have a native armor break. I thought that was really interesting. And it was cool because they gave him the ability to have it through a synergy with a very good partner in Cap Infinity War. But think about it. Hercules gets stronger with those armor breaks. He doesn't actually break them. He gets stronger. We're seeing this. America Chavez, not a strong champion. I'm not advising you go get her or rank her up. But she has the ability to neutralize their power without removing it, being those armor ups and things like that. I think this is something we're continuing to see in the game. I've been pointing this out, but here it is. Here's more of it. Here's more of it. And we're even seeing a counter to Magneto, which I absolutely love. And for folks who are really lamenting, like, oh my God, I can't believe I ranked up Magneto and now I'm not going to be able to use him. Yes, you are. I'm not telling you you're wrong. What I'm telling you is I hear you, and I'm trying to provide a lot of the other side of this and show you you're still going to be able to use them against a variety of champions. And that this is just one out of over 200. And even if they came out with 1 a month, and I'm talking about Nimrod and how he can't have his ability actually reduced by Magneto, by mutants. Even if they added 1 a month for the next 2 years, it would only be 24 champions of over 260. So keep those things in mind. I think stay positive. Let me know what you think. Really curious about this ending here and what you're thinking about Kitty and Nimrod. I am excited about Kitty. If you want to see Nimrod's abilities, we get enough people like that. I'm sure a lot of these will come out though. Let me know. So I just wanted to kind of throw Nimrod in there at the end. My thoughts on him. He does seem powerful. Definitely seems very clearly to be a defender. I think it'll be about how easily you can get him into that mode that combines his other 2 modes. I can't think of what it's called right now. I apologize. But this is really intended to be a Kitty-centric video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.